Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Saturday morning. I am Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. I'm solo today. Again, we've been coming earlier. We've been doing 9 o'clock the past, 3 weeks or so with 11:40 or 50 post times down in New York with daylight savings, and they were trying to get in 10 races and whatnot. So we were starting at 9. But today it's a 12:10 post time, so an abbreviated show, but a 10 o'clock start. Usually the pregame show starts about an hour and a half before post time, so they'll kick off the hour pregame, I would think 10:40-ish, so we'll wrap by then. And again, I'm solo. I was planning to get Kevin Kilroy in, reached out, but we couldn't connect. Kevin Kilroy from the fairgrounds. He and Joe Christofek pretty much take you through the fairgrounds meet. Joe K sticking at Churchill until that wraps up. But Kevin Kilroy, who was on a little bit of a roll before he took off from Churchill, went down to man the handicapping duties down there for opening week until Christofek can get down. So again, I was hoping to get Kevin Kilroy on for a little fairgrounds preview. They have some Louisiana bred stakes today on the card. It looks like it could be fun. Didn't get him, but I'll still take a look at the fairgrounds and just kind of set up the meet. Should be fun. Certainly, it's one of those wintertime tracks that I know a lot of people like. For me, Tampa and Oaklawn, but I do like fairground because you like the grass racing this time of year. And you get to Tampa and you have plenty of grass racing. Fairgrounds, the turf course yesterday looked really good. Hopefully that holds up. Oaklawn, no turf racing, but I just like Oaklawn. I always say you get a lot of value there, and looking forward to them kicking off their meet fairly soon as well. Tampa kicked off this past Wednesday, so they're in the mix, and Fairgrounds yesterday. So we'll do a little Fairgrounds preview in a moment, but first I wanted to just go over it, not necessarily to pat myself on the back, but just to rehash, a nice Pick 5 carryover day that we played into with the Pick 5 bankroll, online bankroll yesterday. And it was kind of an audible, which worked out well. I had $150 to play on behalf of the bankroll team, put together 2 tickets, one big caveman ticket, and then a smaller ticket. The smaller ticket, I singled White Obario. The bigger ticket, I was only 2 deep in there. I thought there was another alternative. Luckily, White Obario ran well because my alternative kind of freaked out in the starting gate. I think I left the race there and did not run well at all. But White Obario pulled us out. But it turned out to be an okay result. Everybody on the bankroll team, the 10 players, there's your ticket right there. The 10 players, or 2 tickets, the 10 players will each get a little over $80. So it was a nice result. As you see, each ticket paid $4.13. The Pick 5 actually paid for 50 cents, $3.77. But the late Pick 5, they're consolations. So the consolation was $5. But with the number of tickets, it was about 10 times. So again, over $800. 10 players on the team, each going to get $80. And just to take you through the sequence, because with White Obario in there and the horse that won the next race, you would think some value would have been sucked out, which it was, but it was still a nice result for putting in the 150, coming up with well over 800. Happy with that result, and it played out this way. We were helped greatly in the opening leg. This would have changed the results notably. The opening leg, I was 2 deep on both tickets, used the 2 and the 5. The 2 won and the 5 ran second. The 5 was 30 cents to the dollar. So we got it done with a $9 horse over a very chalky horse. So I think that added some value right out of the box. The next race helped as well. Again, both tickets used the 2-4 and the 6. The 4 won. Between the 3 horses we were playing, that was the best value, and that was the best value on the whole ticket. That was a $17 horse. So we started out with a $9 horse that beat a 30-cent to a dollar horse. Then we had a $17 horse, and that helped, give the value on the day. Because then White Abarrio came up, and at 1-5, White Abarrio won and looked very good. And I will say, I looked it up. Let me see if I think I had it right here. 94. Yeah, White Abarrio comes up with a 94 buyer on the return, and hadn't been seen since the race up at Saratoga, running fifth behind National Treasure in the Met Mile, which was at Saratoga this year during that Belmont Stakes Festival. So White Abarrio kind of clunks in the Met Mile. Had been for a few races in the barn of Rick Dutrow. After that Met Mile, goes back to Saffie Joseph and sits off from that June start until yesterday. A 94 buyer, good looking win. Saffie, after the race, was kind of, this. It was an allowance race, but it was a grade 1 for us because we wanted to see what we had and will we keep White Abarrio racing or not. And I think they were pretty happy with it. Irod Ortiz was in town for the ride. The chart margin was over 10 lengths. And again, nice 94 buyer figure, which doesn't jump off the page necessarily for White Abarrio, who has a number of triple-digit buyers going back to the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, the Whitney up at Saratoga. But for the comebacker off the layoff, it's a pretty good effort. And now for White Abarrio, they are contemplating the Grade 3 Harlan's Holiday on December 21st down at Gulfstream, and then head to the Pegasus after that. That's the game plan. And again, he looked good yesterday, but kept both of our tickets alive. The disappointing race for me in the sequence for the team was the 8th race, where I was 5 deep on both tickets. And I was kind of surprised that the favorite was 3-5, Steel Sunshine. Because again, as evidenced by being 5 deep, I wasn't that confident in the favorite. Now, that said, I guess I'm happy the favorite won because I had 4 other horses and neither one of them were second or third. So it was, for me coming down the stretch, it was the favorite or nothing. But we had $3 after White Abarrio paying $2.40. We had a $3.40. So I was curious, after the race to see what the will pays were going to be, but they were all pretty good. I actually think I have it here. The team was alive for, again, I had 4 horses in the last leg, and because of the 2 tickets, 2 of those 4 horses I had twice. So the payoffs were $690. This is without the consos because you don't know what the consos were. $690, $760-ish, $1,300, or $500. So they were all pretty good. And we got we wound up with the second best result with the 4 horse getting it done in the last leg, Hot Blooded, who eventually went off as the 5-2 favorite in there. But still, it was a nice result because we had it twice. And again, it was a fun afternoon for me. When you're playing on behalf of the team, it's always a little nerve-wracking because you're playing for other people. And, these bankrolls, you want to win. And so as we're going along, and then I got to the last couple of legs, and got the White Abarrio win. Now we were 5x4. And I said yesterday, I'm still not super confident. I feel pretty good being 5x4, but I thought the last 2 legs were a little bit wide open, but it played out nicely. And as I said, we called kind of an audible because the game plan had been to take a look at the Aqueduct pick 5 with the bankroll yesterday, but just serendipitously after last weekend, coming into Friday, Gulfstream had that pick 5 carryover, and then we kind of talked a little bit about it and said, why not take a shot at the the carryover and see if we can make a little something happen. And I think the carryover money and subsequent money that was put into the pool because of the carryover probably helped with our value a little bit too, with it, again, a couple of short prices, but still some decent value for the team. So again, congratulations to the team. Thanks to everybody for playing. And I always want to remind you take a look at the promotional schedule on the OTB website, because it's worth jumping in and playing some of these contests or bank rolls or just the various events. The fan appreciation days, there's always a contest with a $75 win ticket and a $25 win ticket for the top two finishers. We're taking your shot for some free money courtesy of Capital OTB, because we go back to the Breeders' Cup with Steve Bick and his big ticket, $4,000 plus. Everybody on his team got a great chunk of change. A couple of weeks ago, we had the King of the Hill contest. Finally have a winner at, I think, $1,300, $800 yesterday, divvied up amongst the team. Going back to Saratoga, the bounty bet has been hit a number of times for a good amount of money. So there is some money flashing out there on some of these contests, and you are invited to participate. As I say, check out the promotions calendar on the website. Go to capitalotb.com and click on promotions, and you'll see what's coming up. And I do want to remind you, speaking of that, perfect lead in. There's a $100 play the board contest today here at the Clubhouse Racebook. So you can come down this afternoon and enjoy some racing action and jump in for play the board. Maybe win a little extra something this afternoon here at the Clubhouse Racebook. All right. I'm just looking to see there we go. My Fairgrounds PPs. As I say, was hoping to have Kevin Kilroy on and just didn't make contact, but I still will preview a little bit the upcoming Fairgrounds meet, which kicked off yesterday. Traditionally, Fairgrounds opened on Thanksgiving, and it's still a big day down there. So, it was a little bit different. I'm not sure how long it hasn't been Thanksgiving. Fairly recently, I think. This isn't the first year, I'm pretty sure. But again, Thanksgiving, a big day down there. I will also note Thanksgiving is going to be a fun day here at Capital OTB. Keep in mind, Fairgrounds will be running. Churchill will be running. Laurel is supposed to be running. We'll see. I'll mention Laurel a little bit later on. They canceled this weekend. Had some weather and a track condition, but Woodbine also in the mix. I know the Clubhouse Racebook will be open on Thanksgiving Day. So there's plenty of racing action coming up on the holiday to have a little racing fun along with your turkey and dressing and gravy, my favorite meal, not just of the year. I'd probably have a hot turkey sandwich or turkey dinner about once a week, but it ups its game a little bit on Thanksgiving Day. So again, Thanksgiving, traditionally opener for Fairgrounds, but opened yesterday. And I visited Fairgrounds a few years ago. It's a nice track down in New Orleans. So, you not only get to enjoy the track, you get to enjoy New Orleans a little bit as well. I will give you the leaders, jockey side and trainer side last year. Pulled up the stats from when the meet ended in March of last year. Jose Guerrero was the leading jockey. Jareth Loveberry was second, 52-51. Corey Lannery was third. Ben Curtis, fourth. Jaime Torres, fifth. Brian Hernandez was sixth. Then Raylo Gutierrez was seventh. Upstate New York native, who has turned into a nice jock nationally. He kind of bounces around. 2 years ago, he was the leading jock at the Fairgrounds. On the jockey side of things, though, it is going to be very interesting. And I appreciate the fact that he showed up for opening day, because he was racing. He has now changed his tack to the Kentucky circuit, as we know. Jose Ortiz is going to be riding at the Fairgrounds. And again, he showed up for opening day and I like that he made his presence felt. It's going to be interesting to see the impact. You would have to think he is going to be a real player down there during the meet. So Jose Ortiz adds his name to the jockey colony down there. On the trainer side of things, I was unfamiliar with this guy until last year, but very early in the meet, and we had, it might have been Christopher Kilroy we had on the show, and we were talking early in the meet about trainer Shane Wilson, who went on a roll last year early and just kept it up. He was clearly the leader last year. Now, it was helped by the number of starters. He started 350 horses and won 50 races. Tommy Amos was second with 28 starters, but 28 winners, but 130 starters. So Shane Wilson, number one, with 350 starters versus 130 for Tommy Amos. But again, Shane Wilson, 50 winners last year. Tom Amos, 28. Brad Cox, 27. Brett Calhoun, 24. Steve Asmussen, 23. Joe Sharp, 18. Dallas Stewart had a nice meet last year. Al Stahl as well. And the trainer side of things will be interesting down there as well. Shane Wilson is back, so we will see. And as I say, I was unfamiliar with him really until the beginning of the meet. He got off to a start and just, as I say, kept it going throughout. And we were talking with, as I say, Joe Kay, I think. And I said, I was unfamiliar, but he's making noise, and talked a little bit about him then. And he just kept it up throughout the meet. So he'll be interesting to watch. There'll be some big horses down there. Kenny McPeak is going to be down there. And there was a story by Marcus Hirsch who said Mystic Dan already down at the fairgrounds. It looks like Torpedo Anna taking a little break, but she'll be back probably, when the calendar turns, she'll head down to fairgrounds to get ready for the 2025 campaign. East Avenue, who was the beaten favorite in the Breeders' Cup after having some trouble from Brendan Walsh, likely to launch the campaign down there. Jonathan's Way. Jonathan's Way has a race coming up, I believe, in Kentucky at Churchill, but he's expected to winter down there. Brendan Walsh has stalls. Cherie DeVoe has a number of stalls. Steve Asmussen always down there. Tommy Amos, as we mentioned, as well. Brittany Russell, maybe a new face down there. She has fairground stalls for the first time. Will Walden will have stalls for the first time. Linda Rice, I'm going to be interested. Linda Rice, it was noted, was going to have a limited number of horses down at the fairgrounds. But when we talked to Dave Dornick last week, he seemed to indicate that plan may have shifted a little bit. She may have some horses instead over at Turfway. So we'll have to kind of see. Is that, you talk about a real New York-based trainer, it's Linda Rice. So it'll be interesting to see where she does wind up. Fairgrounds would be very interesting, but Turfway would be very interesting as well. So Fairgrounds meet, looking forward to it. I said it yesterday. They ran a turf race, and when we were doing OTB Live, I said, that is a good-looking turf course. And they had, notably, 2-3 years ago, they had trouble with the turf and really didn't race on the turf. And then last year kind of got things, righted the ship, certainly. But yesterday, the turf course really looked like it was in good condition. So, as noted, they have some stakes race today for the Louisiana Breds. And the Louisiana Bred program, it's, I would say, similar to the New York bred program in that a good Louisiana bred can certainly go out and face open company. But also, like in New York, down in Louisiana, they have a number of Louisiana bred stakes days that allow them to kind of face their own kind for some pretty good money. And that's where, proves to be a proving ground for some of these Louisiana breds. It's another type of that day with 4 Louisiana bred stakes races this afternoon. And the third race at Fairgrounds is the Ferguson Memorial, 6 furlongs for 2-year-old filly Louisiana breds. This one will be interesting because Secret Faith is in here. Secret Faith as a Louisiana bred so far this year, 4 for 4. There was a Louisiana bred stakes day October 11th down at Delta Downs, and Secret Faith won the Louisiana Jewel. We'll take a look at that here. Secret Faith is going to be the number 2 horse. The number 5 in here, Warriors Justice, is also back this afternoon, as is the third place finisher, Quake Catch, the number 6 horse. But you can see it's a pretty easy victory for Secret Faith. 4 for 4. And I have a 2, 3, 4 in here. I put Secret Faith on top. I'm going to go off at a short price and probably deservedly so. 2 to 5 on the morning line. Warriors Justice, who ran second, I have second. Steve Asmussen has Mischief Princess in here, who is coming off a maiden breaker over at Louisiana Downs. That might be okay. Lightly raced, only a couple of starts. Jose Ortiz jumps on board. So, again, that one could be a little bit intriguing as well, but it's going to go through Secret Faith. And, again, short price, but this is one of those that it's just going to be fun to watch because this is a horse that might have a little bit of a future outside stakes bred company. That said, the buyer figures so far are 2 starts back, a win at Evangeline with a 79. That was in August. In August for a 2-year-old, that's okay. But that win we just saw was a 66 buyer. We'll see. So we'll see what we get today from Secret Faith, and then what the game plan may be going forward. Because, again, if you have a good Louisiana bred, you can pick these days and do very well. Let me just go back and actually look at what she's won so far. 4 for 4. $200,000+. That's not bad. So, again, we'll see what they do going forward, but it's going to be fun to watch today. 7th race, more Louisiana bred stakes action, 3-year-olds and up, going 6th. I think this is a really competitive race, the 7th. I could point in a bunch of different directions here, but I tilted towards Haya, also Jose Ortiz on board. I'm going to look at the race from 2 back up at Canterbury. And again, because it's Canterbury, you're facing open company, and it's a pretty good win with an 88 buyer. Haya is going to be the number 9 horse here. The chart margin will wind up to be a couple of lengths. Subsequent to this effort, went to Keeneland. Tried a starter allowance. Keeneland's starter allowance is kind of salty. Ran 5th in the field of 10, so maybe it's just a little overmatched there. But again, going back to this race, 2 back at Canterbury against Open Company. Haya looks pretty good this afternoon, moving in against State Bred Company. I have that one 8, 10, and 7, clear as a bell. Comes off a win at Louisiana Downs in one of those State Bred Stakes days going back to August, and Not on Herb. Ran 6th in the Gold Cup back at Delta Downs on that Stakes day, but I think is probably better than we saw last time, so that one could be a player as well. The 8th race this afternoon at the Fairgrounds, another Louisiana-bred stakes race, mile and 70 yards. And in this race, the interestingly named Blue Cheese attracted my attention in here, and it is the aforementioned Gold Cup that we'll watch the review of here. Blue Cheese is going to be the number 5 horse. Number 11, My Glory B, runs second, both at big prices. But Blue Cheese at 23 to 1 winds up being a neck victory, but it's a solid 84 buyer. We have 6 to 1 today. I tilted slightly in that direction. I do like Highland Creek, but Highland Creek at the mile and 70 is before scratches, sitting in the 10 post. So I wonder if the post position isn't going to be a little bit of an obstacle for that one. Otherwise, I might have tilted in that direction, but the post position scared me a little bit. And Behema Star, this one's going to be interesting. The 3 horse in that 8th race comes off a couple of duds at Louisiana Downs in August and Evangeline in June. And off of those duds, a beaten favorite in both of them, but well beaten. But you look at the record at Fairgrounds, 12 starts, 5 wins, 5 seconds. I'm intrigued. First of all, I'm intrigued what we get with odds-wise off of the 2 dull efforts. We're 4-1 on the morning line. I'm not sure if that is the proper value after the last 2, but probably justified with the Fairgrounds record. I think, clearly enjoys the New Orleans cuisine, and so Behemoth Star going to be interesting to watch there. I will mention the 9th race is interesting because Masca Parade, who has been an interesting horse throughout the career, bouncing in and out of stakes, and now in the barn of Rob Atras. So I'm guessing Rob will have some horses down at the Fairgrounds to meet if Masca Parade's there. But I just mentioned that because the 9th is an optional claimer, non-winners of 3, and you're getting 12-1 in Masca Parade, which off the last 2 or 3 probably is deserved. But it'd be interesting to watch in there. And again, I wanted to mention Rob Atras, with that one running, likely to also have some horses down at the Fairgrounds. And finally, on the stake scene this afternoon, and again, they're all 4 stakes are Louisiana-bred races, but the 10th race, another one, state breds, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, a mile and 70, and another one that looks like a horse that just sit back and enjoy a Louisiana-bred who can bounce in and out of open company as well and be victorious or run well. Free Like a Girl, the number 3 horse in the 10th race. We're going to take a look at the treasure chest from November 8th at Delta Downs. This was an open company stakes race at Delta. Going to be a head victory for number 6, Free Like a Girl. This was a career victory number 20 and career start number 44, a winner of over $2 million. Earlier this year, ran 3rd behind Dare Manor in the Apple Blossom. So again, as I said, that Louisiana Bred Stakes program is fun, it's lucrative, and it has produced runners that can show up on these state bred stakes days and be fun to watch and run well. But because the program has gotten lucrative, the horses are better bred, they're more competitive, and they can bounce around in open company like Free Like a Girl. So it should be fun to watch in the last race, albeit likely at a short price. So a couple of those types this afternoon at the Fairgrounds. On a nice card, again, happy to have the Fairgrounds. I always enjoy getting to this time of year, getting some of the winter tracks in, because I mentioned before, I like Tampa, I like Oaklawn. They're not only my favorite wintertime tracks, they're my favorite tracks probably all year long, outside of Saratoga, obviously. But I also like the Fairgrounds, and so they're underway with what as I said earlier, a very good-looking turf course right now. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll just hit on some more news and notes before we send it to the pregame. As I say, I would think within the next 10 minutes or so, they will kick things. In fact, the screen has just changed. So I'll come back and give some quick news and notes before we send it off to the NYRA pregame on this Saturday morning. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back. Yeah, it looks like the pregame an hour is going to start up, so our timing is going to be fine here. But I'll just hit on a couple of things worth taking a look at. I do want to alert you that, hey, it's a Saturday night. You can stay up late. 1 a.m. tonight, the Japan Cup. It's going to be covered by America's Day at the Races, and I think I had it up here, which Fox network it will be on. And let me see if I can grab that quickly. I thought I had it. No, I don't see it. But it is on. You can check it out and see. Like I say, I'm pretty sure I have it. But it's going to be. Here we go. According to what I'm seeing here, Fox Sports. But at 1 a.m. tonight, America's Day at the Races, we'll have the Japan Cup. Should be fun. The last race for Auguste Rodin, of course, the winner of the 2023 Breeders' Cup Turf, skipped the Breeders' Cup this year to go to the Japan Cup. And they said, it's going to be our last race. Why the Japan Cup? Well, one of the articles I pulled up said there's a number of foreign entrants this year. And one of the articles I read said no foreign horse has won since 2005. So we'll see what happens this year. But there are some European runners. It's Article 3 high-class European challengers, perhaps in no small part to the incentive bonus, which could see connections of the winner walk away with as much as $6.5 million. So I guess maybe that attracted Auguste Rodin. But again, the last start of the career for Auguste Rodin. There are some Japanese runners that are interesting. Servania, winner of 4 or 6 starts. This is a filly, and she will be interesting in there. Deuce, attractive credentials in here, given some nice wins over in Japan. We also have Goliath, a European runner who's, I believe, coming off a couple of victories. I think one at Ascot, one at Longchamp, if I remember correctly looking. I did look at, there were some basic PPs that I found online. Basically, they were just in a different format than I'm used to. But I think Goliath comes off a couple of wins, as I say, the UK and France most recently. But notable because owned by John Stewart, is Resolute Racing, and he's over there. John Stewart, if you haven't paid attention, he's a little bit of a presence on Twitter. He and Mike Rapoli have gone at it a little bit, but he has jumped into the game. I interviewed him and showed a little bit of it this summer at the Saratoga sales. I just pulled him aside. We talked for a couple of minutes. I dropped it into the show the next morning after, sales night up here. I'd like to get him for maybe a longer conversation at some point because he jumped into the game and he jumped into the deep end. He has been playing at the top level and buying horses and spending money and interesting. So he had this horse that's done well over in Europe, sends over to the Japan Cup. So Goliath will be intriguing. As I say, John Stewart over there and tweeting about it and whatnot. So we'll see. Again, 1 a.m. tonight, Japan Cup on Fox Sports with America's Day at the Races. So you may want to check that. I will also note that they canceled yesterday at Laurel, according to a Matt Hegarty column in the Racing Form. The jockeys were a little bit concerned. I guess it was just minutes before post time, but the jockeys had gone out, looked at the course, and they were a little bit concerned. There had been a breakdown during training hours yesterday, so they canceled yesterday. And then after consultation, they decided to cancel the weekend as well. They're planning to come back, and again, they have a Thanksgiving program scheduled at Laurel, and they're planning to come back. The management kind of feels like they're track maintenance people feel like things are okay. They reached out to HISA to see if maybe they could get a consultant to come in and confirm that. And so the jocks would feel a little bit more confident. But I'm just noting that they have canceled today and tomorrow as well at Laurel. So if you're a Maryland player, keep that in mind. All right. I do see the graphic up. Coming up, we'll be talking horses with Andy Serling and Sarah L. Bodway. So I will step aside here on a Saturday morning racing across America. Seth Merrow in here. Appreciate your tuning in and invite you to tune back in about an hour plus, an hour 20 or so. We'll probably come back in at about noontime with the 12:10 start at Aqueduct for OTB Live for Saturday afternoon. Looking forward to it. I am ready to roll after hitting the as I said earlier, you play these bank rolls, and I have talked to the other folks, Mr. Bick and Brian Nadeau and the other folks who do them, and it's like it's slightly nerve-wracking because you're playing on behalf of other people. And like in life, the life of horse racing, you're probably not going to win as often as you lose. Like baseball, 300 is a pretty good percentage, and you hope when you do hit it, the ROI all plays out. But so it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but when you hit, you feel pretty good. So I'm feeling good after yesterday's bankroll hit, and we'll see if we can roll it into some good information this afternoon as well. Once again, I will remind you here at the Clubhouse Racebook today, play the board contest. Come on down, watch the racing action, have a little lunch at our food vendor, Black Bear. They have a great menu as well. So come on down this afternoon for Play the Board, and come on down tomorrow, every Sunday throughout the NFL season for NFL Sundays. All the football racing action on our screens throughout Sunday afternoons right here, Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. But now let's send it to, and they're saying FS2. They just had a graphic, FS2 for the Japan Cup, but they're just kicking off with the pregame show. So we'll send it that way. Thanks for tuning in. Back in about an hour and 20 or so for OTB Live. See you then.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resorts Schenectady, where the good times flow.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have the better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.